Stop us if you've heard this one before. There's an election, Republicans lose, they hate the results, so then they say no more democracy. Case in point, in Ohio, days after the overwhelming majority of Ohio citizens and voters voted for a ballot initiative enshrining abortion access, the Republican-controlled legislature has vowed to prevent judges from implementing the overwhelmingly supported passed ballot initiative. Writing this in the statement, quote, to prevent mischief by pro-abortion courts, Ohio legislators will consider removing jurisdiction from the judiciary over this ambiguous ballot initiative. The Ohio legislature alone will consider what, if anything, modifications to make to existing laws. This has happened before. It's not an isolated incident, not the only anti-democratic move Republicans have made lately. Last week in Michigan, anti-abortion advocates sued to block that state's abortion rights ballot initiative from going into effect. Sense a pattern? With the energy behind putting abortion legislation directly to the voters, we're only going to see more of this, folks. Missouri, Florida, Colorado, Arizona, Maryland, Nebraska, Nevada, and New York are all expected to see abortion protections on the ballot in 2024. Joining our conversation, opinion editor at The Washington Post and MSNBC political analyst Alexi McCammon is back. Also joining us, President and CEO of Reproductive Freedom for All, Mini Timuraju, is back. Mini, there's an echo to the voter suppression laws, right? You purge the rolls even though there's no fraud and make it harder to register to vote, and then you remove the drop boxes even though those ballots are actually the most secure ballots that are ever produced or created during an election, making it harder for people that work weird hours. I mean, in Ohio, they voted on an anti-democratic measure. That failed. Then they voted on the abortion protection and that passed. The message seems to be to voters, we'll put it to you, but if you don't vote the way we vote, we'll take it away from you after.
Nicole, we've talked about how this Ohio electorate has really been asked to weigh in on democracy and the fundamental connections between reproductive freedom and our democratic values and our democracy as we know it. Ohio Republicans, I've said this to you before, they just can't help themselves. I just want to point out one of the folks who wrote that letter is also a vaccine denier as well, and these are some of the most extreme members of the Ohio legislature. The point is so astounding that this is the second time they're trying to change the rules and cheat to subvert the will of the people. And, this goes back to the issue of, are Republicans getting the message that voters are delivering? And they're absolutely not in Ohio. Folks want their will to be heard. In Ohio, 18% of Republicans voted yes on this ballot initiative. Over 60% of independents voted yes on this ballot initiative. So going into an electoral year, 2024, where you have a high stakes U.S. Senate race, this is political, and it should be, and it will be political suicide.
The numbers are, you can't get around them, Alex. You can't out-democracy the numbers. 83% of all Americans believe today abortion should be legal in some or all instances. So you're dealing with, you're at the starting gate. You're talking to 17% of the country. There's no other issue. There's no other issue that I think, as Cornell puts it, that is both mobilizing and galvanizing. And this galvanizes public support and mobilizes voter behavior. What are they doing?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, to Minnie's point, it's just, enacting other people to be mobilized against them. And we're seeing this with abortion, with education. And those are issues that aren't just, driven by Democrats or liberals. Republicans, independents, as she just mentioned, are also voting in favor of protecting rights to abortion in their state constitution. She mentioned the Senate race. There are also a number of competitive House races in Ohio and in other states where Democrats and pro-abortion groups are trying to bring pro-abortion ballot initiatives, to the forefront for next year. But it's not about abortion. At the end of the day, it's about power and control, and an extreme amount of power and control over things that go far beyond abortion. I mean, their own press release said the Ohio legislature alone will decide what to do, if anything, And then they say they'll bring in legal experts and hear from the public. They've heard from the public. This was a citizen-initiated ballot initiative, and it passed by double digits. These folks, instead of looking in the mirror and thinking, I wonder what we could do to better serve our constituents, are thinking, I wonder how we can have more power so that we control all of these issues that folks think they're in charge of, but we will have the final say.
Minnie, I'm of two minds. I mean, in some ways, my political concerns might have ticked up. I mean, if they'd responded differently, right? This is why they lost, and they're doing the thing that made them lose. In Ohio, access to abortion health care is a plus 20 issue for Biden. He sits at 41%. This had 60% of the voting electorate on Tuesday. I mean, the room that this gives Biden to go and say, you may not love my agenda, you may not love me, but on this issue that brought you out to the polls on an off-year election, I am the only one with you. I am with you. I am with 83% of you on this issue of reproductive health care. What are your conversations like with Democrats right now?
We've been in a lot of conversations with the party committees, with candidates, and with voters. We had folks on the ground in Ohio door knocking, and your point is spot on. This is an absolute advantage for Democrats. It's a huge advantage for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris going into 2024. We've seen in focus groups where, voters, when asked this question, swing voters, when asked this question about abortion versus any other issue, they are willing to break from candidates around abortion. It's showing up in the polls. It's showing up in the research. More importantly, it showed up on Tuesday in the states where abortion was on the ballot. We saw repudiation in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin and his agenda. We saw turnout in record numbers in Pennsylvania in an off year for a state Supreme Court race. So what this tells us is there is a path to victory for Democrats around abortion, but we have to also do the work, communicate with voters about the stakes, make it really, really clear where Joe Biden is versus the Republican field. It's early and we don't know how many voters are paying attention. We also have to make sure we're clear about the threat of a national abortion ban. And Democrats have to be proactive about solutions, not just fear mongering. And that means pushing for a national bill to codify abortion access after the fall of Roe. Folks want to see Democrats provide solutions. Joe Biden has said he'll sign it, but we need a House and Senate that will send it to him.